At the WBC's 57th annual convention, they have declared that if Dillian Whyte is cleared by UCAD of any wrongdoing, then he will become the mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder. But not until February 2021. People, anyone who tries to defend this decision is not a real boxing fan. It's as simple as that. Because Dillian Whyte has been the number one contender for how long now? Like 2 years or something? And now he's been told that he would have to wait a year or more on top of that to become mandatory. Absurd. That's what you call politics. Now, in case there are any people who are hard of hearing, who didn't listen properly to what I said the WBC resolution was, let me repeat it. If Dillian Whyte is cleared, okay, because you're going to get some people saying, oh, he's a drug cheat, he shouldn't even get a title shot. It's if he's cleared. Understand that. This is best case scenario. So if Dillian Whyte is cleared, he has to still wait until February 2021 to become mandatory. How on earth can you justify that? You got Deontay Wilder recycling Luis Ortiz. 2 title shots for Ortiz, who is a drug cheat, by the way. Luis Ortiz failed 2 PED tests in the past. One of them was in the lead up to the first Wilder fight. That's why the fight initially was cancelled or postponed. Then they later rescheduled it. Wilder had no issues fighting Ortiz, even though he's failed multiple drug tests. So you can't use that as an excuse. And who the hell has Ortiz fought in the lead up to the first Wilder fight? Nobody. Who's he fought in the lead up to the second Wilder fight? Nobody. But yet Dillian Whyte's out here fighting Oscar Rivas, fighting Joseph Parker, fighting former world champion Lucas Brown, fighting Chisora a couple. He's out here taking tough fights. Ortiz is fighting nobody, and yet Ortiz gets 2 shots. I mean, again, anybody who tries to defend this is not a real boxing fan. You know, I don't hate Wilder Ortiz too as a fight, but there are other contenders out there in the WBC rankings who have done more to deserve a shot at Wilder. AKA Dillian Whyte. Facts. Dillian Whyte has a much better resume than Luis Ortiz. Facts. That's not up for debate. Anybody who tries to debate it, what brand of crack are you smoking? Who the hell's Ortiz fought? No one. His best win was what? Brian Jennings about 5 years ago. Unbelievable. Now, to me, this just seems as though the WBC are colluding with Al Heyman to ensure that Dillian Whyte is frozen out of the world title picture. And perhaps even Eddie Hearn heavyweights in general are frozen out of the world title picture. That's what it appears to be to me. And that's not good for boxing. No real boxing fan would look at that and say, oh yeah, that's great. Of course, you get these pea-brained, demented Wilder fanboys who are elated at this news. Pea-brained Wilder fanboys think it's great that Wilder, sent messages to Dillian Whyte saying, I'm going to freeze you out for 2 years. They think that's great. Imagine if the reverse was going on. Imagine if Anthony Joshua refused to fight any PBC heavyweights. Imagine if he'd done that. I mean, Anthony Joshua's fought several PBC heavyweights. We know that. He fought Dominic Brazil, PBC heavyweight. He fought Charles Martin, PBC heavyweight. He fought Andy Ruiz, PBC heavyweight, about to fight him a second time. He fought plenty of PBC guys. But just imagine if Anthony Joshua was doing that, was freezing out all the PBC heavyweights. Can you imagine the uproar, the outrage? But yet when Wilder and the WBC are clearly, in my opinion at least, doing that, they're celebrating. these pea-brain morons who call themselves, what, Deontay Wilder fans? And I'm not saying all Wilder fans, I'm just saying the majority of them. And the PBC fanboys in general as well. Unbelievable. Now, Dillian Whyte is obviously going to be furious because he's been putting in the work. He's been fighting WBC sanctioned fights for a long time, fighting very tough opponents. And after all that, to be told that he's going to have to wait till February 2021, he must be livid. Dillian Whyte has a history of not just sitting and waiting for his shot, but instead taking on tough opponents in the meantime. I don't know if there's any legal battle going on with UKAD behind the scenes, but if there is, we all know that legal battles cost an enormous amount of money. And therefore, he's going to want to stay active. You know, since Eddie Hearn keeps reminding us that he hasn't been banned or anything like that, he's going to want to stay active to try and, you know, generate funds to pay for any potential legal battle. But again, I don't know if there's a legal battle going on. But even if there isn't, Dillian Whyte is a guy who likes to stay active. And if he continues to fight the level of opposition he's been fighting, there's a very strong chance that he could lose before he gets his WBC title shot. Very strong chance. Not because Dillian Whyte ain't a good fighter. Dillian Whyte is one of the top heavyweights out there. But it's a stacked division. There are so many other very good fighters. You know, you've got AJ, Ruiz, Fury. You got Wilder, you got Hrgovic, you got Miller. You got Povetkin still around. You got Michael Hunter. You got Usyk. I mean, people, you got Daniel Dubois coming up. There are so many dangerous fighters out there. If Dillian Whyte keeps on fighting these type of level opponents, he's inevitably going to lose. So he's in a bit of a quagmire at the moment. Maybe he needs to ditch the WBC and start looking at a WBO. Trying to align himself more with that organization, try to get a crack at Usyk for a vacant WBO belt if it becomes vacant. I mean, that would make sense from Eddie Hearn's perspective, right? Because Eddie Hearn represents both guys. Put Dillian Whyte in there with Usyk. You know? Do I think that Dillian Whyte could beat Usyk? I think, to be honest, he's probably got a better chance against Usyk than he has against Wilder. Let me clarify my position on this, people. I think Dillian Whyte is a very good fighter. I personally wouldn't pick him to beat Wilder, but do I think he deserves a shot at Wilder? Hell yes. And just because I wouldn't pick him to beat Wilder, it doesn't mean he can't beat him. I mean, how many of the Deontay Wilder fans, or even the AJ fans, thought that Andy Ruiz could beat AJ? Virtually none of them. Okay, so what we think is going to happen and who we think could beat who is irrelevant, really. Until we've seen two guys in the ring together, you never know for absolute certain if we're talking about top-level heavyweights. You never know for certain until they're in the ring. All I know is Dillian Whyte deserves a shot at Wilder more than any other contender out there, point blank. But yeah, he's not going to get that shot. Maybe ever. So could be time to go to plan B and choose an alternative route, because the title belts are more than likely going to become fractured. Irrespective of who wins the AJ Ruiz rematch, they're probably not going to keep hold of those free belts for very long. IBF, WBA, and WBO. One of them at least is going to get stripped away, and the winner's going to end up with 2 belts rather than 3. So that third belt, you might want to chase that, Dillian Whyte. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, I don't want to hear nobody saying, he's a drug cheat, because this resolution only stands if he gets cleared by UKAD. If he don't get cleared by UKAD, he's not going to get a shot at all. So let's not start having a debate that doesn't need to be had. Yeah, we're talking about if he gets cleared. of any wrongdoing, he still has to wait until February 2021. I mean, talk about the WBC being in Al Heyman's pocket. It doesn't get any more blatant than this, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys feel in the comments about. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.